It don't matter the color
We
of the
back.
skin, either woman or man, just let the case land. It's here, it's in safe hands. This is God
Shout out
work,
to
not
my
a fake plan.
BFF
Too
and
many
Kyler in the
kids being
building.
found in these lakes, man. This is MTGV, and you with Miss
We got a
V.
lot to
She
go
keep
over,
her ear
y'all.
to the street, like a drum to a beat. This is the place that you wanna be, but all trolls we delete. You better believe. Just so you know, we don't go for those that's taking these souls. We know, but it's getting so out of control. Just so you know,
Shout out to everybody in the building. Please smack that thumbs up.
we know, but it's getting so out of control. Thank you for tuning in to MTGV, True Crime TV. Y'all know what it is, man. Team Vibe, Miss V. And make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure you
Please do, y'all. So we got a lot to go over concerning the case. A lot has happened, but I have been posting videos and shorts all along. So please make sure you check out all of my content. Depending on what you like, if you like the long live streams, you like short videos, you like to binge watch, I have playlists. So please check out all of that content that I have for y'all. And so I want to go over a couple interviews that she did. Well, one of them, I'm talking about KEI'MANI's biological mother. I wanted to go over a video. I think it was her own live stream that she did on Facebook. And also I went out in the community and I talked to a few people. That's what the videos were about that I dropped. And I also want to know from y'all, is it anything that you would like for me to go look at? Is it anything that you want to see concerning this case that only somebody local can do? Let me know. But we definitely gonna be following the case to the end. That is the plan. So if you haven't already, please check out my videos that I did this morning. Matter of fact, when I was just live, I did a premiere about it. So shout out to Gina. I see that your name was different earlier this morning. It was weird. I don't know. Did you change it? Or is YouTube playing with me? Brian Steele. Okay, you talking about the Columbus cop. So you like that guy? One thing I know about Toledo, they are very tight-lipped with information, which I've always said that our news don't, they don't give you a lot of information. When I compare them to other news stations, they, I'm like, this 2 minutes and they off, they kind of make it seem like this is a great place and all that. But anyway, with this one, they are following everything, which is good, but it's a lot of things happening. And so what that cop did in Columbus is unheard of in Toledo. They don't tell you that kind of information. And so they was mad about that, but I was happy that we was able to find out information. But I don't believe at the time that he actually said that the family was not aware. The family didn't know all of that information. And so, and then like the cop said, or the chief said, it could mess with the investigation, but they always say that. But we was happy to find out all that information. Dude got exactly what he deserved, every last bit of it. So let me start with these little clips that I got in here.
If my baby don't make it home, I will never be okay again. And I hate to say that because I have other kids. If my baby don't make it home. This man has been to my house several times. He usually takes her for weekends to his house to visit with him and his other children. And I feel deceived. Like, you played for so long in my face, like you was her dad, like you really had her best interests at heart. This man has been to my house several times.
So that was one of my questions in the beginning in part one. I'm like, how long has she been going around this man? This dude actually, he been around for a minute. It looks like, because I seen somebody, well, it would have had to been the girlfriend posted a screenshot of the camera on Facebook, and they were able, it said 2022. So she's been around them at least 2022. And then I heard her biological mother saying that every time he would have the daughter, she would tell him to call me if you got her or whatnot. But some of the things that's sticking out to me right now is the fact that, to me, everything is surrounding KEI'MANI's birthday. Everything. Her daughter, when she said, when she said the part about, well, I brought my daughter here. I came and let you see your first granddaughter born, and this is how you repay me, or this is what you do to her. But of course, she used some other choice words. And so what I find weird is that the last time KEI'MANI's mother seen her prior to the 15th of March, when her father brought her to see her, was her birthday, her 11th birthday. I remember them talking about a TikTok party, and you could see it's like a picture of her. She got this TikTok shirt on. Of course, I don't have it in here. But so that was the last time that she seen her, 11th birthday, right? So then in the grandmother's interview, the grandmother even mentioned her birthday. She said that I'm still getting things dropped off, packages being dropped off for her birthday, because she was gonna have this big basketball birthday. So what made the grandmother all of a sudden say, you know what, I'ma send her, go ahead and take her to see her mother, when they hadn't been getting along all of this time? But all of a sudden, right before her birthday, she authorizes the father to take her to see her mother, and a couple days later she's gone. Do you think that's a coincidence? It's almost like it was a message or something. Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna return her back to you. I don't know. It's just because the birthday was just mentioned too many times. The 11th birthday, the gifts that she was still getting, the daughter, the mother saying that her daughter, because she had another kid since she's had another kid that's 4 years old now, and she said that KEI'MANI and her daughter is 10 years and a week apart or something like that. 10 years and 7 days apart or something to that effect. So her daughter just had a birthday. KEI'MANI's birthday was coming up, and she didn't make it to see her 14th birthday. She even went on, oh, this is going to be the first year that we ever had this big party because everybody's actually going to be here. Yeah, everybody was there, but it wasn't it wasn't for her birthday, but it ended up being her birthday celebration. So I just think that is so weird. And then the daughter, she said, my mother, she had called me in June, and she was talking about giving me custody because it was too much for her. And she said she was going to let me get custody of her or some type of something through the courts. And she said the next thing I know, she's coming after me for child support. Why would she make her think that she was going to give her custody just to go after her for child support? It's like she never had any intentions on doing that. Another thing that stood out to me about that, the father, his cousin was with him when he drove KEI'MANI to go see her mother, which I think is Cincinnati or Cleveland. One of them, I can't remember. Cincinnati or Cleveland. The bio mom lives. The father, Darnell, drove there with his daughter and his cousin. So there's two men, a little girl with them. So I wondered if she even made it back if she even made it home. But she did, because she went to school on Monday. But why was the grandmother saying it was another day and all of that, and had the days all screwed up? It's like that was purposely done. And I did hear that the cousin was arrested and questioned and all that. I don't know if the cousin got out. I heard the lady named Shabu that was living there, she got out. And when I was out in the community, a guy told me that, and I already dropped the video, but he told me that that house was basically a party house. It was always a bunch of people on the porch in the summer, he said. And when anytime it's warm, it's like a hangout house. It's a party house. Well, he said it gave him crackhead vibes. That's what he would say that the house was. And so the hands part stood out to me because I remember hearing Tierra, her bio mom, saying that her mother was accusing her daughter of stealing. I was trying to figure out, okay, normally in a case like this where somebody is trying to conceal some evidence, they don't usually take the whole hands. They usually take fingertips or something, right? But there was a lady that went live yesterday and said the family wanted her to do this live and say that, there's no need to go looking. All of her parts was there. Everything was there. So I'm thinking, okay, so what was the point of taking them off if you was going to leave them there? And then I thought, was this some type of torturous thing? Like, okay, so you've been stealing, so I'm gonna do this to you. It just stood out to me that the bio mother said that her daughter was being accused of stealing and lying and all of this stuff. And in my heart, I feel like they just lied about everything. They lied and made this girl out to be something that she wasn't. It stuck out to me that the cousin said that she has never heard the grandmother call her by name. All she calls her is B-I-T-C-H, her own grandchild. This is what the cousin that used to live with her said. And I could not believe what I was hearing. I seen an unaliver's police record and he's been busy. Man, that dude is insane. I mean, yeah, I heard a lot about his record. Like, number one, with a record like his, he shouldn't have even been around the kids that was in his household. He was a violent person, throwing stuff out the window. I can't even think of all of it, but I might run across the article because I think it is an article that's talking about all of his some of his things. Stuff in 2019 when one of those videos that I played, he was acting like he was going through so much, but he is the biggest part of his problem, obviously, because look what he did. What would make this dude do this? And for what? And then you gotta wonder how much did his cousin participate? Did he do this too? Because if they did that, if he SA'd her, and they both definitely going down. The evidence is going to be there. New here, but this case has me upset. I'm from Ohio. Welcome in, Jordan. Yeah, I'm telling you, it is a very upsetting case. And it's just sad because this poor baby, it seemed like when I look at the videos when she was with her other people, she seemed so happy. She seemed like so vibrant. And I mean, anytime I will see them dancing or whatever, she just looked like a whole total different kid. She didn't look like she had no issues with what she was or anything like that. But stuff like that comes up when you've been tampered with at a young age. You don't want nobody touching you. And with this guy, the record that he had, man, he should have never, ever been around this poor child. So I do want to go over those interviews. And one of the things that BFF brought up, that's Tracy in the chat. She was saying, because remember how the granny said that she cannot see without her glasses, and she left without her glasses allegedly. But I'm still trying to figure out, when was the last time anybody seen her go into that house? Because if she went to school on Monday, that would mean, now just look at this for a minute. Well, let me finish one thought. So BFF said that if she cannot see with her glasses, and I even heard her mother say that she was just like her, blind as a bat. And then the granny said, she can't see without them. But BFF said that she seen her playing basketball without glasses, and if you can't see without them, you can't see playing basketball either. And if you think about it too, a lot of her pictures, which I do know that people will take their glasses off to have a good picture, but if you think about even this picture, she don't have glasses on. Some of the other pictures, she don't have glasses on. This one, that's a school picture though. Sometime I do know in school pictures they'll be like, take your glasses off, and so I don't know though. But in some of her pictures, she don't have glasses. So if she was that blind, why would she not have them on? Period, playing basketball and stuff like that. So like I said, the birthday is very sinister to me because it just seemed like it's a message. Why it have to be right at her birthday? I mean, just for her to just say all of a sudden, oh, we gonna send her to her mom. See, do it even make sense? Like, she ain't seen her since she was 11, right? Her birthday is the 28th. Why go see her 10 days before your birthday? You ain't seen her since your 11th birthday. Why was it so urgent for her to go at that moment? When the mother was gonna be here in a few days for her birthday party, right? That don't make sense to me. I'm just saying, and the amount of times that I heard her birthday, and then the daughter just saying that what she said, she was very mad. I was going, oh, you told me that you should have got rid of me, but you decided to keep me. So I wanted you to see your first granddaughter born, and this is what you do to her. And she called her some Engas and some B's and all that kind of stuff too. But, why? Why did it need to be that day? Why did she need to go see her mother? If it wasn't for the students, because they said she walked to school with some kids on Monday. They walked back with her, I guess. I don't know. So that would have been after, I would say Monday, after she got out of school, is the last time anybody seen her that I've heard so far. I haven't heard the kids say that she went to school, but the family said that. So I'm assuming that she did go to school. That would have been the last time seeing her, right? Now, the granny, remember the grandmother said that she came home about 9:40 and she noticed the house was in disarray on the day. She said she came home about 9:40. That would have had to been Tuesday because she went to school on Monday. So my question would be, okay, who was with her if the granny left at 9:40 p.m. on Monday night and she didn't get back to Tuesday morning at 9:40? She said she called the school to find out was she at school, and she wasn't. So that was her first inkling of knowing that she was missing. 9:40 on Tuesday. But what time did she leave the night before? I heard 10 o'clock. I heard the grandmother left the night before at 10. But then I also heard that she works, but she didn't go to work that night. So I don't know. But my question is, what happened between Monday when she got out of school and 9:40 the next morning when the grandmother got home? It's a lot of missing time there. So that's why I want to know, what time did she get home on Monday? Because nobody's seen her after she got out of school on Monday, if we are to believe that. They were it's a neighbor that did have ring cam and seen things. So, but nobody seen KEI'MANI come up out of the house. So how did she get to this other location? And then when I was out there yesterday, they informed me that the grandmother, they said that she owned the house, but she don't own the house. The house is, I need to, I'll get into that later, but they did tell me that she owned the house on Miami that she was found in. And then later, and then somebody else told me that it was her mother, the grandmother's mother, that actually lived there before she moved to Arizona. So that house on Miami allegedly is linked to KEI'MANI's family. Now, 2 different people in 2 spots. It was one group when I first got out my car told me that, and then I was talking to another guy that told me that part of it. So either way, it sounded like the house is somehow linked to the family. She had been in 6 different schools. Exactly. And that was crazy. She had been in 6 different schools. When people want to be left alone to do what they want to do with the kids, they move them around. I know this because I worked with kids for 26 years. Wow. And that you are absolutely right, because the one teacher spoke out, and she was the teacher. I think she was a teacher at Bennett Academy. The one teacher that's speaking out, she was at the school that she took her out of and put her into Spring. So what is looking like is she moves her when people have a problem with something. Okay, somebody reported a bruise, so I'm a mover. Now they haven't told us what other reasons she moved to all those schools for, but I'm assuming that it was for all of them. I mean, it was something like that, but that should have red flagged somebody, you would think. Yeah, this teacher right here. I was her teacher. She told us she didn't feel safe. She told us she was terrified to go home. This is crazy. We all saw the marks, the bruises, the injuries. I made multiple reports to CPS trying to get her help. See, that's crazy. Let me, give me a second, y'all. I don't have nothing put up. And I'm going to look at the comments in a minute, too. But shout out to everybody in the building. Y'all, please smack the thumbs up if you have not. And subscribe to the channel. Set the notification bell so you know every time I go live. And let me know if it's something y'all want me to go look at on location. Let me know. I guess I'm gonna go to this playlist right quick. So I have, that's what I want to show y'all too. That I have a lot of videos. I want to kind of show y'all how to navigate through the channel a little bit. Wait, let me move this. I made a little clip for y'all. Are you a true crime sleuth looking to binge watch great content? Come on into my channel where I have a variety of videos, shorts, live streams, podcasts, playlists, members only videos, and also we have Posts. Posts is a place where I share upcoming live streams, videos, calls to action, polls, quizzes, pictures, and ongoing conversations. Stand out and become a member with badges and special members emojis. Thank you for your like and subscription. Are you a true crime sleuth? All right. Okay, now let me go through. Let me play this.
This man has been to my house several times. He usually takes her for weekends to his house to visit with him and his other children. And I feel deceived. Like, you played for so long in my face, like you was her dad, like you really had her best interest at heart. This man has been to my house several times. He usually takes.
Come here, man.
Don't do it. What's your hand's killing me?
Dude, show me your fucking hands right now.
Me, bro.
Pull your fucking hand out of your.
Myself.
I swear. Come here, man.
What an idiot. Come here, man. What? I mean, he went all the way to Columbus to get shot. I mean, he could have got that up the road in Toledo. He went all the way to Columbus to get fired on. Talking about unalive me. No, he could have did that. He had so much time. He could have did that. And I just think that's the coward way out. Why did he think his girlfriend was going to cover for him? Why did he think it was okay to hide the mat, the boots, and all of the stuff that he hid under her steps or wherever she did, where his other kids laying their head at? This man didn't care about nobody but himself, period. And so Columbus had been trailing him for 2 days before they came up on him. When he's walking, you could see the undercover car behind him. He just walking, had a walkie-talkie, and he had the weapon. I did a video of that too. As a matter of fact, let me pull this up, because that's what I was about to do. Put this. So this is the playlist that I'm trying to pull up. And of course, wait, this ain't the playlist, is it? Let's do this. Oh, that is the playlist.
This right here told to me that he was her biological father. However,
so this is the playlist. It's got 17 videos in it so far. So if y'all haven't checked out all these videos, please do. But I wanted to play what I had just posted yesterday and today. Part 2 is where we are. Okay, so I went to times. Hold on. This was the last time that they seen Darnell Jones in Toledo, right here at Manhattan Plaza when they were organizing the search. Darnell was allegedly coming from interrogation where he had been for hours. According to Tierra, when he left this location, he said that he was going home because they had taken his phone and he didn't want to do a search without a phone, something to that effect. It was also said that he did not go home. And we know that he turned up in Columbus, Ohio with a shaved head. And it was said that they had been tracking him for a couple days. This is not unheard of for the unaliver to show up on the scene or in searches to find out what is happening. What is everybody doing? What's the climate like? And we know, according to the recording, that he was asking Columbus police to take him out. He had ample time to do that if that's what he wanted to do. Looking at this guy creep around and knowing what he did to his own makes me sick to my stomach.
In the past few hours, the Lucas County coroner ruled her death a homicide, saying she died from multiple cuts to her neck. We also know her father, Darnell Jones, is in a Columbus hospital after being shot by a SWAT officer around 10 a.m. today. It's still unclear who fired first. Columbus police say he's expected to recover and no officers were injured.
Where, man?
What's your man's killing me?
Serious, dude. Show me your fucking hands right now, bro. Pull your fucking hand out here.
From Columbus SWAT was looking into him for at least 2 days. Jones is already facing murder charges in KEI'MANI's death. Her body was found yesterday in an abandoned and burned out home on Miami Street.
And you can see the weapon. The police is stepping on it, and the walkie-talkie. So he just thought old girl had his back and that she was gonna. I mean, dude, you take your own child out. Anybody that trusts him got to be a fool. Like, She knew what he was capable of. That's why she didn't turn that camera off, and she left because she didn't trust that he wouldn't come there and do something to them. And let me do this right quick. So I want to go over some information about his history. So he is the let's see, it says Jones has history of increasingly violent offenses. So when Angela Silva saw her neighbor hurl 2 televisions off the balcony of his second story apartment one evening in July of 2019, she decided to call the police. I don't know if he was drunk or what he was on, if he was on drugs, but he was just so violent. Miss Silva told the Blade while recalling the events of that summer night. He was just throwing things out of the window, threw a couple of TVs out the door, off the balcony. We kept hearing things crashing, crashing noises. So as the police headed to the apartment in the 400 block of 4th Street, a second call came in. The anonymous caller told police he saw a man choking a female on a second floor balcony of the same building. And do you know what I think about is KEI'MANI? Because she was on the second floor of this house that people was peering into when they was on the scene of the crime, waiting for them to pull her out of that damn building. They could see them on the second floor taking pictures, lights flashing, whatever, they could kind of see movement up there. So that just stood out to me, that he was throwing things out of the window, threw a couple of TVs out of the door, off the balcony. We kept hearing these crashing noises. So as the police were headed to the apartment in the 400 block of 4th Street, a second call came in. The anonymous caller told police he saw a man choking a female on the second floor balcony of the same building. So we all went out on the front porch and we were watching the whole thing go down. Miss Silva said, you could see it right from here, from my side of the porch, that he had her over the balcony by her throat. And what did he do to her throat? What did he do? So these kind of people don't change. I mean, they don't change their stripes. They just keep doing the same kind of stuff. So he was known for being this type of person, and you put this little girl with this food. Somebody need to pay for that alone. Looking at his criminal record, looking at people's criminal record, she shouldn't have been around nobody. This poor baby was surrounded by criminals, hardcore, allegedly. But this father's record was ridiculous in itself. And so it says she was screaming for her dang life. He was about to throw her off the dang balcony. So the man at the corner, at the center of the mayhem in the home on the 4th Street in East Toledo that night was Darnell Jones, who nearly 6 years later would be charged with unaliving and abducting his own child and whatever other charges they got. So, just sick. The police showed up within minutes of the first 911 call and ended up arresting Jones. While the victim that night, Jones's wife, Antonia Sullivan, declined to pursue charges against Jones. Police had enough evidence and witness statements to proceed without her. So the state will pick it up anytime a woman don't have enough damn sense to do it herself. And I guarantee you that wasn't the first time he laid hands on her. So Miss Silva, she could routinely hear Jones and Miss Sullivan arguing, as well as loud commotion coming from their home routinely. So Jones was charged with a number of crimes that evening, including domestic, DV, the assault, a pair of first-degree misdemeanors. The assault ended up being dismissed at the request of the prosecutor, and Jones pleaded no contest to domestic violence. So this dude has constantly gotten off. He's constantly gotten chances after freaking chances. And if you don't fix the brain, I don't care what you do, nothing's going to change if you don't change that, your way of thinking. Like the video that I played of him in part 1 was him talking about, I don't like the way I think. I don't like the way he didn't even like his own dang on self. Sound like he was hearing voices or something. And I wonder if he was a foster child himself. And what happened to him, I do wonder, but yeah, it don't matter because he was a grown ass man that could have got help and he hurt his own. Like, even if it wasn't his own, what would make you? What was the cousin doing while he was doing all this? This cousin seemed to be with him all the time. And like I said, they did say that he was arrested or brought in for questioning, but I heard that because I was listening to the crowd of people talking. And I could hear that being said in the crowd, but I don't know how true it was. So that's crazy. The assault ended up being dismissed. Okay, and then efforts to speak with Miss Sullivan for the story was unsuccessful. So she ain't trying to be brought into this. And this was released probably about 4 or 5 days ago. She said, I think he did a long time in jail after that. Didn't he? Miss Silva's husband, Jeremy Brighton, asked his wife. It didn't seem like we saw him after that. Okay. So in reality, aside from 11 days, the 11 days he spent in jail after his initial arrest that night, Jones spent another day in custody for DV charges. So the Toledo Municipal Court judge, Nicole, found him guilty and sentenced him to 180 days in Correction Center of Northwest Ohio. She suspended 100 days and gave him credit for 11 days. He had already served in jail following his arrest. So, okay, they found him guilty and sentenced him to 180 days. They end up suspending 100 of those days. Then gave him 11 days credit. Like, I mean, see, it's like they don't they don't punish these people properly. Stupidity at its finest. Exactly, Lynn. Make it make sense. So she had been in. Oh, okay, I already read that one. But yeah, what about the 2 people who live there? Which location you talking about? He tells on everyone involved. He definitely, I believe he gonna tell on everybody involved. If anybody involved, he gonna tell it. Now, if he would have got unalive, then he wouldn't be here to tell it. But he is. But he is still in the hospital. So I wondered, y'all, because remember when they was like, he said, unalive me, take me out, basically. And then the last thing I heard him say was, I'll do it myself. And then he started reaching. So I wonder if he did fire on himself on the side. I wonder if he hit himself in the side, because they did say that he fired the weapon. But see, they don't tell us everything. So we don't know. I think he hit himself on the side, because I know that he got hit like 3 times. And then even in this article, they is gonna say that he got fired. He got hit in his chest before. This dude he got issues that he just can't quit. Seems like this baby didn't deserve it though, man. And ain't no way he should have never had his hands. She should have never been around him by herself. She shouldn't have been around him. Hell, barely supervised. Like, and then this dude ain't on no paperwork to be doing anything if we still talking about if he the father or not. I heard the mother say that he is the father, so I'm assume that he is. But then we heard his girlfriend, who turned him in, say that she was always with them. She was always over their house, always visiting them. And like I said, at least from 2022. And something that I heard about the grandmother not calling her by her name, that is the most disgusting thing that I have ever heard. You referring to this baby as a B. Why? But you know what? It's just like the other case. I don't believe that you can properly love your grandchild if you hate the mother or the child, whether it be the mother or the father. So I went to the location of Tom's Carryout, which is on LaGrange, and it's about a minute or two from where KEI'MANI lived. So I found out this was a location that the grandmother frequented, but KEI'MANI had never been seen in the store at all. I first heard about the store when KEI'MANI's biological mom, Tierra, did an interview, and she talked about the store while telling a story about her teenage cousins doing a search for KEI'MANI and allegedly seeing the grandmother throw something in the garbage. And she mentioned this store in that story because she was saying that her mother had left and came back real fast, thinking that she must have went to Tom's to grab some cigarettes or something.
Which means she was about to go somewhere. But they thinking like, okay, well maybe she just ran into Tom's or something to go, you know what I'm saying, grab some cigarettes.
And check out old girl appearing to be throwing up some type of gang signs on me. Now it was also said that the grandmother is very mean. She's not pleasant at all. And that's coming from the community. I don't know her personally at all.
So they happened to look back at my mama's house before they pulled off. And the upstairs light was on. The upstairs light was on. They drive around for a little bit longer and then they get to a point.
Y'all, please smack the thumbs up. It is very, very important. Shout out to riders. Welcome in. My question is, why was the grandma scattering KEI'MANI's clothes around the park? Now, I have not heard anything about her scattering nothing on the park. Was that said on the news or by the community? And I haven't heard that at all. I got a lot of questions for that granny, and I thought the law does too. Right. See, this is the thing about the law. It is a slow process. Like, they could be watching her, they could be listening in. Like, I believe that they investigating though. I mean, obviously they don't have, I'm thinking that they don't have nothing that directly puts her with that night, but that don't mean that she won't be arrested later for other stuff, because it's all kind of people organizing things. CPS or it's called CSB into here, but they are organizing task forces and all kind of stuff. Is different businesses standing up to do things. So it's gonna be some changes behind this one as far as in the city. And I totally believe, like, even based off of the grandmother's record, she really shouldn't have had the kids. Her own daughter said that. She was like, my mother been to prison way too many times to be able to open up some type of facility for prisoners or something like that, she was saying. But yeah, and she had like violent stuff on her record. Firearms and fights, all kind of stuff. Like, they got that all listed on Facebook. But yes, as far as the clothes, I have not heard that anywhere yet. So let me get back. Oh, let me finish this out. Let's finish this out. We actually gonna go to this video where she's talking here.
Because they wouldn't even gone for 4 or 5 minutes and he was like, nah, bro, we gotta go back. So they go back to my mama's house. Oh shit, wait, I gotta take it back.
Yeah, we'll wait till I get to that because I don't want to listen at it twice. We'll go back to that. But let's see. Justice for KEI'MANI. Let's just do that right quick. I'ma pull up a video in a minute, but let me get back to this article and shut this video up. Okay. All right. So getting back to this article, it says, yeah, so 100 days suspended, 11 days credit. That's crazy. So he was put on an active probation for a year in order to complete treatment, as directed by Unison Health. After showing proof of having completed a substance abuse program, a treatment program, the remaining 69 days of his sentence were suspended. Wow. Like, yeah. So he getting slaps on the wrist. That ain't helping. So misdemeanor charges at 19. Now, 19, the video that I played in part 1, where he was talking about having all these issues and it wasn't money and he online crying and all this stuff. He was 19 at the time, and this is probably what he was going through, I'm sure. So, well, I'm not sure because he stay in trouble. But here's some of the things. One of the things I heard that he did was started a fire. And I also heard that his daughter did. I heard that the daughter, and I don't know how true this stuff is, but allegedly she was trying to unalive herself that day or something. I heard her mother say. I don't know how true that is. Something about playing in traffic. And then something about her setting a fire too. And so I heard her say that she tried to set a fire. She wanted to know what it was like to be unalived. You're right. That's came out the mother's mouth, and we might hear that in one of these statements, interviews, or whatever. So it says at 19, the sentence was just the latest in a cycle of arrest and convictions for Jones that started in 2011 when he was then 19 years old, was cited for disorderly conduct while intoxicating and resisting arrest. Something that he was trying to do when he fled all the way to Columbus. Just stupid. Now he got all kind of charges there as well. So, and he gonna get charged for firing that firearm, even if it did fire into his own self. I really think he did, because I don't know, I could be wrong, but I remember them saying he got hit 3 times. I remember him saying he thought his legs was broke, he couldn't move them. He's like, I don't want to live, but they were so helpful, wasn't they? I ain't never seen a nig survive a listen, they usually fire center mass. So usually you don't hear them begging to die because they already dead. Okay. Anyway, back to this. The sentence was just the latest in a cycle of arrests and convictions for Jones that started in 2011 when he was 19. He was cited for disorderly conduct while intoxicated and resisting arrest. So over the coming years, he would be in and out of court on a series of slowly escalating offenses, oftentimes receiving sentences that emphasize treatment, counseling, and rehabilitation. And I'm sure he wasn't taking no medicine, wasn't seeking no treatment, counseling, or rehabilitation. So in August of 2011, before his first 2 misdemeanor charges had made their way through the court system, Jones, who was then 20, was charged with arson, a 4th-degree felony, for his role in trying to set a building on fire. Like, man, what? So according to the court records, Jones used a handheld lighter to ignite flammable liquids that had been poured on the door of a business in the 1400 block of Jackson Street. Now, this is downtown. He and another man were seen fleeing. So I wonder if this man was his cousin that's always with him. I just wonder. So in that case, Jones entered an Alford plea to a lesser charge of attempt to commit arson, a 5th-degree felony, and was found guilty by Lucas County Common Plea Judge Ruth Ann Franks. In an Alford plea, the judge does not admit guilt. No. In an Alford plea, a defendant does not admit guilt but acknowledges evidence is sufficient for a conviction that could result in more severe sentence. So he would be sentenced to 4 years of community control with a raft of conditions, including 3 months in the correctional treatment facility, a mental health and drug and alcohol treatment facility in downtown Toledo. He was also required to get a job, not use illicit drugs and alcohol, and obtain his GED. And I'm sure he ain't do none of that stuff. Now, that explains why he was so diligently working and walking across, coming from the east side. He was walking at night going to work, and I think he might have worked on the docks, like this place by the water got different restaurants and bars because of where he was walking at that I could see. And it looked like he was going to work like 3-4 o'clock in the morning or something before it was light outside. And this probably had everything to do with that. I remember his girlfriend saying that he wasn't working and hadn't worked a while, so she didn't know why his boots was muddy or what he would have been doing to get him that muddy. But when I was on the scene, and I mentioned it several times, it was nothing but mud out there. Nothing but mud. So this felony conviction also meant he would never be able to ship, use, receive, purchase, own, transport, of otherwise possess a firearm or ammunition. Well, we see he didn't give a damn about that because we seen him with a firearm in Columbus, and I'm sure that he carried it with him everywhere he went all the time. So that didn't stop him from doing a damn thing. But that hot lead definitely slowed him down. It definitely slowed him down. Let me see. Let me see what else I got in here.
Told to me that he was her biological father. However, her biological mother has told me on several occasions that he is not. So I don't know what to believe, but I know that he was present. He's been more present than the biological mom. And I feel deceived. Like, you played for so long in my face, like you was her dad, like you really had her best interests at heart. But where is she? Told to me that he was her.
That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. So if it was told to you so many times he wasn't a biological father, why would you continue to send her with him, not knowing? But the mother said he is the biological father. I believe he is, but I don't know. But that is what the Tierra said.
I'll hold you up, all right? You just relax. Lean back in there. There you go. You're going to be fine. Listen, hey, nothing's ever that bad, all right? Yes. I'll hold you up, all right?
That was him. The cops was holding him up. They was helping him after that hot lead had entered. And he didn't want, it is that bad. Yeah, you could, man, listen. What about your daughter? And then, let's say that the whole hand thing has something to do with her stealing. Imagine this dude disciplining somebody in that way when he a big F up himself his whole life, allegedly. So this was a sanction that would generate multiple charges for Jones in the coming years. So gunfire at Greenbelt Place. This dude. So I see that he always stays on the east side or the north side of Toledo. In those areas, neither in which I frequent. So it was 4 years later that Jones, at the point of at that point he was 23. So it was 4 years later. He's 23 now. Would be a suspect in a felonious assault that would earn him his first charge of a felon in possession of a firearm, a third degree felony. Now that was after all this that I read. Where is that at? This it says this felony conviction also meant he would never be able to ship, use, receive, purchase, own, transport of otherwise possess a firearm or ammunition. 4 years later, he's caught with a firearm, and I'm sure he had one the whole dang on time. He just didn't get caught with one. Felt felonious. Okay, so just around 9 p.m. on January 31st, 2015. Police rushed to the Greenbelt Place apartments in the 800 block of Walnut Street on a report that a black male in a gray sweatsuit had fired a weapon and ran from the scene. So, according to witnesses, Jones and another man, he always got another man with him. So, who is the other man that's always with him? I wonder if it's the man that was with him this time. According to the witnesses, Jones and another man were standing on the sidewalk when they started to fight. During the argument, Jones became angry, pulled out a weapon, fired one round at the victim's feet, and ran. What? That's crazy. So, all right. So he fired out at his feet and then he ran off. According to the police, he was chased by the security inside into a nearby building in the 900 block of Walnut, where he was found hiding in the dang on stairwell. What an idiot. Okay, 800 block. He ran to the 900 block. All right. So in June of 2015, Jones would plead no contest and be found guilty by Lucas County Common Pleas Judge Gary Cook. He was sentenced to 2 years of community control. What is that? He was ordered to spend 6 months in the correctional treatment facility. Did he do it? Given 3 months of work release, placed on electronic monitoring, and directed to get a job, complete an alcohol and drug treatment program, and go for mental health assessment. Oh, so it's the same thing, but he's not doing it. So by November of 2015, he was found to have violated his community control and ordered back to the work release facility. Things did not go smoothly for Jones at work release. In January of 2016, he lost his temper when told by a corrections officer to finish his food before entering his dorm. What the hell? Okay. According to the police, Jones got into a verbal confrontation with a corrections officer and then punched a window, cracking it, and did he break his hand? Let us know. So the ensuring misdemeanor criminal damage charge would lead to another community control violation. His supervision was transferred to Cuyahoga County, where it appears he completed it in June of 2017. So he had to get sent to what? Cuyahoga is Cleveland. He had to get sent to Cleveland. Okay. So that was in 2016, he lost his temper. So January of 2016 is when he lost his temper, got shipped to Cleveland, something where to finish out his sentence to June of 2017. So an assault with an alternator. Goodness, I can't read today. Wait, before we get to the alternator, he assaulted somebody with a dang on alternator. That is wild. Let me see if y'all saying anything. Please smack that thumbs up. Welcome in, June. Thank you for stopping in. How you been? Let's see. He's nuttier than a payday. Dang, that sound good, a payday. Boy, that sound good. This man is a whole problem. Exactly. Like, who listen, this is a whole assignment. If you got kids, if you got 5 kids, you got 6 if you were him. I'm just saying. He's lucky they didn't do more than that. Now we need him to wake to pay for this. He need him woke. Exactly. Wake your ass up. Wake it up. It's time to pay the piper, because you didn't listen. This man has gotten away with a lot of things. And I mean, the best thing for him probably would have been to serve his sentence in a treatment facility. But I don't know if they do that kind of stuff. Because he sure ain't do it on his own. Most of them, they won't take the medicine. And they'll take alcohol and drugs instead of the medicine. And then it lead to this. This dude got whole mental illnesses. When you look at these pictures, he looked like a different person on all of them. But he looked the worst at his current picture. He was just out of control. Like, I was looking at his face, like, because this would have been he out there trying to act normal. I see that it is something on his face, though. I don't know if it's a bump, if it was a whelp or whatever, but that would have been right after she was missing. The next day, I guess, is when they was organizing and doing everything. Okay, so 2 months later, Jones will add a felonious assault charge to his growing portfolio of criminal behavior. Just after noon on August 1st, 2017, emergency crews responded to the 1500 block of Monroe Street, which is also in the downtown area. So they found a man with a large gash across his face that separated his nose and upper lip right down the middle, as well as a wound on his cheek. He would be hospitalized overnight and needed more than 20 stitches to close his wounds. Wow. So the man told police he had confronted Jones a few blocks away at 18th and Monroe Street, accusing Jones of starting or having his nephew robbed, having robbed his nephew. So this man trying to defend his nephew ran up on him and he got hit with a whole alternator. Damn. The 2 men started to argue, and Jones, who was working on his car, smashed the man in the face with the vehicle's alternator, the victim said. That's crazy. Never mess with a man when he working on a vehicle. He might take the alternator out and smash you with it. Like, what? Dang. So, for his part, Jones told police the man approached him while he was working on his car, picked up an old battery, and smashed it in the street. Oh, he said the man, he was working on the car, picked up the old battery, smashed it in the street, and then started hitting Jones. Jones said he hit the man in self-defense. What y'all believe? Either way, what happened? Was it self-defense or did he start it? The man was approaching him because he had tried to rob his nephew or did rob him. Where was his nephew at, I wonder? Sound like the man was by himself. He took one for the team. Damn. So, for his part, Jones told policeman, okay, so that's what he said. So police would also interview Jones' new wife, Antonio Sullivan, the same woman. Witnesses would later tell police he choked on the second floor balcony of his East Toledo apartment in 2019, who was sitting in Jones' car at the time. Damn. She probably was like, man, better you than me. That could have been me. You know what I'm saying? So 7 days later, detectives charged Jones with felonious assault, a second-degree felony for attacking a man with an alternator. He ended up pleading guilty, and in January 2018, he was sentenced again to 180 days in a correction center of Northwest Ohio. His jail time was suspended, and he was put on 2 years probation. See, this dude just been getting chances after chances. 6 months later, he violated his probation when he was arrested June 1st of 2018 for disorderly conduct while drunk. When police found him standing outside of his home on Star Avenue, which is the east side, yelling and cursing at people. So he sound like an old drunk homeless guy. You know what I'm saying? Like what? He was just standing out there on Star yelling and cursing at people? For what? Cause he drunk. Look, drunk and disorderly again. So it says while his community control violation hearing for the June incident, Jones caught himself another charge on October of 2018. Hold on. Okay, so he he ended up pleading guilty, and in January of 2018, he was sentenced to 180 days. 6 months later, he violated. Yeah, see, that's the problem. You give them these days, you suspend them, put them on probation, and then a few months later, 6 months later in June, he's in trouble again for intoxication, yelling at people, disorderly conduct, drunk again. So while waiting for his community control violation hearing for the June incident, Jones caught yet another charge. Yet another charge in October of 2018. And in that instant, police were summoned to his home in a 300 block of East Broadway Street. Now that's on the south end, the old south end. But the homeowner had called 911 to report someone trying to break into her home by prying open her front damn window. Like, what? Goodness, what? So police found Jones, whom they described as highly intoxicated, on a woman's front porch while she ended up deciding not to press charges. Police arrested Jones for disorderly conduct. Well, who was the woman? Because it must have been somebody he was with, because I can't see a stranger not pressing charges. So who was it? One of his women? Trying to pry open her door drunk as a damn skunk. Like, no. What a Lou. Jeez. This dude was out of control. Now I wonder how old was he? Oh yeah, he would have been 30, probably 20. I think he 33. So he would have been about 20 when KEI'MANI was born. KEI'MANI was born in 2011. So when all this stuff happening, she's here. She's in this world. I'm talking about everything, hell, because I started with 2015. She was born in 2011. So police found Jones, who they described as highly intoxicated. Okay, while she ended up deciding to on a woman's porch, while she ended up deciding to not press charges. Police arrested Jones for disorderly conduct while intoxicating, finding an open pocket knife in his pants pocket. Police also charged him with carrying a concealed weapon. So at his community control violation hearing in December of 2018, Jones was found to have violated his probation. He was committed to the work release program for 60 days and given 2 weeks to find a job. Man, this dude slaps on the wrist, slaps on the wrist, slaps on the wrist. So aside from a disorderly conduct while intoxicated charged in May of 2019, which was later dismissed, Jones' next encounter with the police would be the assault of his wife on the second floor balcony of their apartment in July of 2019 that was witnessed by Miss Silva and other neighbors. That's wild. What do y'all think about all this? He got to be telling, because how? So you think, you think he turning people in? Usually, don't that come up if you in there for that though? Like, give me somebody and I'll get you lesser time or something. It just, I don't know. I don't know why this dude got 180 days and got it suspended and then on probation and then like this is just crazy. Who in their right mind would let this monster be around? Exactly. This is what I'm saying. If for nothing more, she should be charged for that. Like that. I mean, come on, man. All these bad people around, even their own. I don't even want to call this dude her father. Like, who are you? This is demonic. He's demonic. Look at this, especially this one right here. This dude just look unhinged. Anytime a man to get on social media and cry like he did, man, blaming everybody but his damn self, run. We have to let children know that we are here to protect them by any means necessary. Exactly, Jonetta. Exactly. Just a career nut job. I promise you. Maybe he was a snitch. I bet you he was. I'm sure he has snitched before. But I don't think I seen where he had no drugs or nothing. He ain't into making money. He just into making your life damn miserable. He just into drinking, what's the worst beer to drink? That's what he drink, and them locos and all that kind of stuff probably. If you get to the point of hanging out on the street, just randomly cussing people out, you are really out of control. And I really do wonder if he was brought up in foster care, if he knew his parents. I just wonder. I bet you it's the same type of thing. Or heck, he could have been with his family and just had a horrible life. But it's definitely was something going on with the dude. But nothing excuse what he did. So, argument that led to gunfire in April of 2022, Jones was on the receiving end of a violent argument with a neighbor. So, according to the police, around 1 a.m. on April 20, what? Now that's ironic. April, and it's April again, and he done got shot a damn again. Well, it was in March this time, but. Dang, so shoot, 5 years later, dang near the month prior, anyway, dang near 5 years later, he done got fired on again. Dang near exactly. So anyway, according to the police, around 1 a.m., April 21st, 2020, Jones, 28, entered the neighboring residence of James Hardwick, 29, of the 400 block of 4th Street without his knowledge. So that would be breaking into somebody's house. So another man at the residence, Jonathan Hardwick, 26, heard Jones allegedly make entry. During a verbal exchange between the two, Mr. Hardwick fired at least one round from his .40 caliber pistol, striking Jones in the chest, according to the Toledo police. So Jones was transported to Mercy, St. V's Hospital. Mr. Hardwick was never charged. See, what? You can't just enter in somebody's house? What was he going there to do? What was up with that? So he got hit with that hot lead again. And the man didn't even get charged for it because he came through in their house. So his last apparent encounter with police prior to the disappearance of KEI'MANI was August of 2022, when he was arrested for the third degree felony of felon in possession of a firearm and a misdemeanor offenses of discharging a firearm. This dude should have been in major trouble for that. Possession of drugs, paraphernalia, and disorderly conduct while intoxicated. Just in 2022. And guess what? The picture that I seen of KEI'MANI, they surveillance footage was in 2022. So he had all this crazy stuff still going on. And I mean, that's just the date that I know I can put her with him, but she obviously was around him so before that. And I don't remember. I will have to find a picture to see what date it was. It could have been August for all I know. But in 2022, his last encounter with the police prior. So I wonder, maybe he found another crime to get into, and he didn't need to get in trouble with the police. So what, did he decide to, I'm gonna start getting my kids, I'm gonna hang out with KEI'MANI more or something? I don't know. Something had to change that he was pleased with to not get into no more trouble until now. Because look, you take from 2022 and it's 2025 now. You took a break. That's a long break for him. And then you come back with a big bang. Like, look at me. I took a break, but I'm back for life now. Like, this gonna be hard for him because it don't sound like he ever did a whole lot of time. But he got that time now if he lasts. And I do it'll be interesting to find out if he did shoot himself or not. That'll be interesting. So this wasn't really supposed to be all about him, but we here now. We gonna talk about it. So all right. So in that case, hold on, y'all. Let me find my place. Okay, yeah. So he took this whole break. His last apparent encounter with the police prior to the disappearance of KEI'MANI was August of 2022. When he was arrested for the third-degree felony of a felon in possession of a firearm and a misdemeanor offense of discharging a firearm while firearm possession. See, if they would have locked him up in 2022, maybe we wouldn't be talking about this. So in that case, police responded to a shot spotter. So he fired the weapon, and they got them things everywhere in the city, so they'll show up wherever it happened at. And what was he still there? He was just still chilling or something. So anyway, the shot spotter alert and found Jones lying in a parking lot of a daycare at 11:30 at night, highly. And this dude get pissy drunk. He don't just get drunk, he get pissy. That's what we call this kind of drunk, where you laid out and he was pissy. If you laying out, I don't know, I'm picturing beer, some bad beer that he drinking. What in the hell? He has a record of a career criminal, and they continue letting this dude out. He was to come out feet first when he had to come out feet first. 211. Yes, that I was trying to think of a cheap beer. 211. That is the one I was trying to think of. 211s and them Four Locos. Ain't that what they pissy in the parking lot, passed out sleep. And this is the same man that's taking his daughter here, there. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. All right. So the misdemeanor charges were subsequently dismissed at the request of the prosecutor, and Jones ended up pleading guilty to a lesser offense of attempted having a weapon while under disability, a 4th-degree felony, and using a firearm while intoxicated, a 1st-degree felony. Okay, like this dude, what? Ain't nothing attractive about this guy at all. Like, wow. 211. Wild. Faux loco. He has to be insane. Why do they keep letting him out? That's what I'm saying. Like, what the hell? I mean, I didn't know Toledo was so lenient. This poor baby. She could have been saved, though, if they would have locked him up. He deserved to have been locked up. All of this. So, dang. At his sentencing in November of 2022, Jones ended up pleading guilty. Okay. Okay. So, at his sentencing in November of 2022, Lucas County Common Pleas Judge Navarre found Jones is not amenable to community control and sentenced him to 12 months in prison for the felony and 180 days in the corrections of Northwest Ohio for the misdemeanor. The sentences were to run concurrently. Okay, did he do the time? Did he do the time? I mean, we went from that to life on Willard Street, which is the street that he ultimately unalived. I mean, he took the baby. That's where he was living at. Let me see. I think I might have something. Oh, I just did that. I had actually mapped it from the house that he stayed. I think it's only like, I think it was like 5 minutes away and 9 minutes away from the grandmother house. Like this house, this location is definitely something that he probably ride past. He knew about well, or even if and you notice it ain't all muddy and all of that at the time, but it definitely is burnt. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, Willard is, did I screen? I think it's 5 minutes away. And look at him. So as we read, so following the completion of his sentence, Jones ended up settling on Willard Street in East Toledo. His neighbors there were contacted by the Blade recall fire from sedate encounters with the accused. What the heck? So okay, so Tony Fuller, a neighbor, said he never would have thought Jones would be charged with unaliving his own daughter. He was laid back, he said. Where he's just cool. I don't know what he was thinking. One of Jones's Willard Street neighbors, who would only give his first name as Kyle, said he knew Jones and KEI'MANI. He said he would watch his daughter play with KEI'MANI on the street. Well, he would watch his daughter play with KEI'MANI on the street. Okay, so he was always out there with my daughter. She was always out there. See, so they're saying always. So she was with him a lot. The girlfriend used always, saying that she was always with them. And, you know, she said that in the news. She's like, she was always with us. I loved her. It's crazy. Guess, let me guess, suspended again. Man, I'm trying to figure out when did he do the time? How much time did he actually serve and what date did he get out? They didn't give us that. They went straight to Willard Street. Okay, so I wish wait, she was always out here with my daughter and Jones and so would always be on the porch. Kyle said, I wish she would have said something. Cynthia Beckwith said she didn't even know he lived on her street. It's horrifying, she said of KEI'MANI's unaliving. She didn't deserve that at all. Okay, so Nina Turner, an ex-girlfriend, says she was surprised when she heard about the charges. The pair share a 3-year-old daughter. Miss Turner said Jones was never violent towards her. See, okay, with that being said, what made it different with her? I mean, have he ever unalived somebody? What made him do this to her? I mean, I don't know. What the hell? He went to work every day, she said. He would come home and he took care of the house. He never whooped the kids or yelled at them. We never argued. What? Well, y'all should have married each other. What happened? So when KEI'MANI first came up missing, they made it seem like she was a runaway. See? They want to taint these teenagers and make them look like they the bad person. Oh yeah, she ran away. And plus they know when you do the whole runaway thing, the police don't treat it the same. Just another runaway, maybe she'll turn up. Yeah. But I do this make me think about that timeline again though. If she went to school on Monday, her granny went to work that night, allegedly maybe 9 o'clock at night, right? Did she see KEI'MANI after KEI'MANI got out of school on Monday? When was the last time the granny laid eyes on KEI'MANI? That's my question. That is my question. If she went to school on Monday, the grandmother said she came home at 9:40 the next morning. What the hell happened between out of school and 9:40 the next morning? Where could she have gone? We don't have those answers yet. The grandmother didn't talk about that. She didn't talk about because they was using the wrong dates. She was using the wrong dates, saying that because I remember the daughter talking about. But anyway, let's get through this. When first came up missing, they made it seem like she was a runaway. Miss Turner said, I'm thinking we were looking for a runaway until they pulled the evidence out of my home. Okay. It was my family that alerted me to him hiding evidence here, she said. Once I seen what it was, I knew that there was something more than just her running away. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, so this the girlfriend he got now. Okay. That's hard to believe. That yeah, I guess it's the one now. So but they calling her ex-girlfriend because they ex now, but they was together when all this stuff happened. But she didn't since broke up with him. All right, so the pair shared 3-year-old daughter. Miss Turner said Jones was never violent. He went to work every day, she said. But I heard her say that he hadn't went to work in a while when we was watching the news. So he would come home, he would take care of the household. He never whooped the kids and yelled at them. We never argued. When KEI'MANI first came up missing, they made it seem like she was a runaway. I wonder what did they say exactly to make it seem like that. Miss Turner said, I'm thinking we were looking for a runaway. Okay. Until they pulled the evidence out of my home. So it was my family that alerted me that he was hiding evidence here. She said, once I seen what it was, I knew that there was something more than her just running away. After police collected evidence from her home, Miss Turner said she went to stay with her family because she was scared of the evidence they put out of here. and people were suspecting that she was involved in her unaliving, and she of course denied all of that. And then I know I heard something about the father of her other kids was staying with her, saying my kids is here, she ain't got nothing to do with it or something. I seen or heard that. So if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have found the evidence. They wouldn't have found the evidence enough to charge him in the first place, she said. Oh, they would have probably found it anyway though, because they would have been tracking him to wherever he was at. They might have found it, but I'm assuming. So what I'm hearing is that people are accusing her, attacking her, and wanting to jump on her and all of this. It'd be a lot of misplaced anger happening, and all of that is what it sounds like. His jingle bells need to be put up to his ears, okay? As a matter of fact, they need to, hang, let him dangle from them. Shaking my head. I can't believe these women were sleeping with him and having kids. I know. Look at this dude. He is so out of control. He look unhinged. Look at him. Then he goes off and shave his head and he had on a similar sweatsuit like when he got pulled over. I mean, I thought, but it just didn't have white letters on it. Looking like a star-raking fool. KEI'MANI mom said she has never seen him in work boots. Right, I did hear her say that. I ain't never seen him in no work boots. But when was the last time she seen him? Because she's not from here. She hasn't seen her daughter since 2011. Not 2011. Since she was 11, about 4 years ago. 3-4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. Welcome back, Gab. Well, welcome in, I should say, using the other live stream. Yes, this is live stream number 2 for today. And I still ain't finished with this article. Goodness. It's almost done now. So Miss Turner said if it wasn't for her, they wouldn't have found him at all. That was the reason they were able to find him. He called me from a text now number. And I called back. I called it back. And then that person called me back and gave me their exact address and city they were in. And I called the detectives and they knew exactly what neighborhood to search. That's really good. I don't know what the heck made him think she was going to be cool. He walking around with a walkie-talkie and a gun. Talking about just kill me. I mean, you had the weapon. Why didn't you? So members of the Columbus SWAT team scoured the Victorian Village neighborhood where they found his car abandoned on Monday night. Oh, okay. They found his car abandoned. Where was he at? Just after 10 a.m. on Tuesday. An officer spotted Jones, whose head appeared to be freshly shaved, and approached him in the corner of Denison. And we know what happened after that. Matter of fact, we can go to that little clip of what happened after that. I meant to take him off my screen by now. Where is he at? Not that one. This one.
Come here, man.
Don't do it. What's your hands killing me?
Dude, show me your fucking hands right now.
Hey, bro.
Pull your fucking hand out of your...
myself.
I swear. Come here, man.
Don't do it. What's your hands?
See how he said I'd do it myself, and then he grabbed. I wonder if one of them was his own. I really do. But those are the kind of answers we might not even get until we might not get them at all. I think hopefully it'll come out. I'm curious. I'm guessing that he might have did. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to go over one of her interviews, but I also wanted to pull up some videos, but shoot, I went from one live to the next. I didn't even give myself a break. And look, I've been reading for over an hour and 30 freaking minutes. OMG. Okay, so let's see, 20 and 15. Hold on, y'all. We are about to go over the interview. It's not an interview, it's her talking to, I heard it was her friend, but I'm not sure. But we gonna go over, trying to think which one. Let's go over this one. And I'm gonna put the link to this in my description box.
But regardless of that, like I said, my only concern has been I don't care about the money. Money comes and goes.
Yeah. So they were saying so that this house.
So this one is coming from Savage Royalty, and I'm gonna make sure that I put her link in the description box so y'all could listen to it on your own.
That your mother lived in.
Wait, not that.
Medical records, because that was what they were saying. They were saying I medically neglected my daughter. I brought them my full medical records with, you know, my baby's midwife and my doula's number, all of that good stuff. I brought them my lease. I brought them.
Now I think she is talking about her other daughter right here. That, hold on, let me go past that because that.
It's like 5 or 6, and then they started bouncing her back and forth between the two.
Okay, so this.
Now her times might be off a little bit too because you hear a little bit different things, but it's not that far off, I should say.
Gave my godmother kinship care over my daughter when she was 1.5 years.
Okay. And how long did she stay with the godmother?
I'm not exactly sure. I believe she stayed there solely up until she was like 5 or 6, and then they started bouncing her back and forth between the two.
Okay, so this basically lines up with the grandmother, how the grandmother said that she was there off and on for about 5 years. Would that be fair to say?
My daughter's about to be 14 tomorrow. No. No, that's still not accounting for. That's accounting for like 3 to 4 years.
Okay, so that timeline is just a little bit conflicted.
I forgot about the kids.
Okay, so during this time of her being there, how many years did you fight for your daughter after she was born?
Oh, I've always fought. Hey, I'm on the phone. No, do not open that door. No. You want to go out there? You can go out there and play if you want to. But I can't have you playing.
Mixer, my apologies. Say that one more time for me.
I said I've always been fighting for my daughter. That fight has never ended. In June, my mother was supposed to be signing a third-party custody transfer so that I could get my baby back because she said that she did not want her anymore. She said my daughter was stealing. My daughter was lying. I don't know that any of.
See that part right there. She said my daughter was stealing and my daughter was lying. And so that part right there stuck out to me. And I was like, well, was they like doing some torturous, you know how, like, because somebody had actually made a comment under one of my posts and they were saying something about, well, in certain countries, if you steal something, they'll do this. So was they trying to do something like that to her? If she isn't an ex, she needs to grab some sense. If she's not an ex, she need to grab some sense. Man, listen. So because the reason why I'm thinking about that is, like I said, the mother said that the grandmother told her that she was stealing. Now, the hands were gone. They said what they said about the hands, but then the person that went live said that everything was there. So why didn't, if you was trying to cover up DNA, why would you leave them there? It just don't make sense to me. So was they really treating her like this? Was they really treating her like this because she stole something? Or they accuse her of stealing something? And I'll never forget about the Jordans when they were like, oh, well, he bought her some Jordans and she was showing everybody these shoes. And she was so excited about the shoes. And she told her, B, put them shoes. Don't nobody care about them shoes. Like, who does that? Who does that? And only call her out of her name. They probably accused her. I don't believe she was stealing nothing, man. I don't. She was too afraid. She was too scared to steal anything. Like, she wasn't doing nothing that this grandmother told her that she couldn't do. I just don't get it, man. But let's keep going. Man, I don't know. Everybody grieve different, but ain't no way, man.
That is factual, and I don't believe it. But she said that my daughter was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and she just couldn't take it anymore. She wanted me to get my daughter. We were supposed to be going to court for that, to give me custody of my daughter back, because every place that I've had, I've always had space for my daughter. I've always made sure I had means to take care of.
Now, why do y'all think the grandmother would tell her she gonna give her daughter back in June, and then she just play her like she played her? The grandmother was probably evil. According to some of the community I was talking to, they said she's very mean. And even the family members said that she's mean. You could hear her. Oh my God, this grandmother was going in on the crowd. Like, she didn't care about them being outside. Let me try to find that, because you know how she said that she actually asked the police to handcuff her because she just wanted them to get the hell away from her house. Man, this lady, she was not scared. I can tell you that. Let me see. Go to this video. I wish it was on YouTube, but it ain't. Yeah. I knew this mess was gonna do this. It didn't even go to the video. Hold on, let me see. This woman was going in. Now, how did I just run across the matter of fact? Let me get my other phone. I need this phone. Keep this one playing while I can look for something. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please smack the thumbs up. Okay, let's go back.
To take care of.
Right. So this abuse. What do you know about this abuse? Because one thing that I'm noticing is that there's a fair consensus from multiple family members that she was getting hit on by the grandmother. Did you know anything about this, and how long did you know, and what steps did you take outside of, fighting for custody?
And my did a very good job.
Bad audio.
I think that was so that they would be able to do what it was that they wanted to do, how they wanted to do it. Again, I still have my parental rights, but because they are guardian, because they are custodian, if they don't give me the go-ahead, I can't do anything.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, did you hear about the abuse? Like, how did you know anything about the abuse
warning
that the grandmother was doing?
I didn't hear about the abuse. The only thing that I've seen, because I've never even seen my mother hit my daughter, other than like a spoon, like a wooden spoon to her hand.
Now, to me, that's too damn hard to hit somebody with a wooden spoon on their hand. Even that's hard. You don't hit a kid with a wooden spoon. Like, get out of here. I think that's abuse. Like, a wooden spoon? And how far back are you drawing that wooden spoon? How about you a little hand spanking? You talking about a wooden spoon? Looks like Granny's all about the money now. Okay, it really is. It's definitely looking that way. Grandmother was probably getting a check for KEI'MANI. That's why she took KEI'MANI in the first place. Yeah. Yep. But see, the daughter, she kind of speak ill of the godmother, too, because she's like, well, I'm sure she enjoying her grandkids or whatever. But when I'm looking at them videos of KEI'MANI, she looked way happier with that mother. She looked way happier with that family. And they danced, they played with her a little bit. Her hair was nice, clean kept, and all of that stuff. And she looked happy. She was glowing. Like kids tell you by the way they looking. And so, man, but a wooden spoon, do y'all think the wooden spoon is a good non-abusive method? I think that's abuse.
I haven't witnessed any of that, and I think that was for a reason.
Okay. And she is your biological mother, because that was in question as well, correct?
That is my biological mother, unfortunately.
So her phone was going in and out for whatever reason, but y'all heard her. This woman is definitely her biological mother.
How they ended up, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all are so loud. I cannot even think straight. Can y'all please? That's why, baby, my head, it's a lot of stuff going on in my head. I cannot focus. Can y'all please step out? Please. I'm not trying to be mean to y'all, but I need y'all out. Please. Go. I'm sorry. Listen,
you're okay. I'm a mother. I don't care about none of that. You do you.
Yeah, she didn't, Gina. Not at all.
It's okay. Go ahead.
She is, AP. Man, I mean, highly.
Well, is there any other questions?
No, I was saying as far as... No, I was saying as far as the abuse and things of that nature, you said that you didn't know anything about it. You just knew about the spoon and stuff like that. That's what you was explaining.
Yeah. About anything. The only thing I've ever seen my mother do to my daughter was hit her with the spoon. But I've recently met a bunch of my family that I didn't know existed, and they didn't know I existed. Apparently, they've been trying to figure out where this light-skinned baby came from.
Wow.
But just meeting them, and they have stories on top of stories on top of stories. People that have lived with my mother for months or years on end are telling me what they've witnessed.
And that's crazy because somebody actually said that did she say one of her nephew's brothers? Yeah, her sister. I think she was talking about her sister that was talking about her against her, basically saying, well, where was you at? We ain't seen you since her TikTok party. I think she said that she heard that her son messed with her, KEI'MANI. And I'm like, what? She even said his name.
So can you explain your sister? Apparently your sister went on the news and she said that you never around and you only came around because you were fussing about the child support and $900. Can you explain why she would go on the news?
Brian says shady granny. Shout out to Brian's. Dang, I can't remember if you just got here, Brian's, or was it the other one I seen you in? Shady granny. So KEI'MANI was hit with more than a wooden spoon. Grandmother was beating on that baby on a regular basis. You don't hit a child with no object like that. Exactly. I mean, come on, man. A wooden spoon. Now, when she said that, I'm picturing a toddler. Like, I mean, this girl was 13. She didn't need to be spanked. She didn't need to be whooped. She didn't need to be none of that. She needed to be saved from that house. And anything that she was doing, man, it was because of what she was going through in there. Because she talks about her trying to burn down something. And I don't know. I mean, what happened behind that? Talked about. I think she's going to say it here. Let's go.
Portray it that way, or why she would say that you were never around?
I don't deal with my sister, first off. Mm-hmm. I don't talk to her if she don't talk to me. I raised all my little sisters and brothers. I was the protector. I was the provider for them when we were in foster care. And I put myself in harm's way to make sure that they didn't have to go through the things that I went through.
Yeah, and then she started talking about the RAPE when she was in foster care and how she would take it for them. But she also said that they were taken from her mother when she was 2 years old and 2 months. And she said she came back. She said she came home at the age of 19. She said, I saw something my mother didn't want me to see. And I did something that she didn't want me to do. And she's hated me ever since. That's what she said. So I don't know what that was. She didn't say what it was. But it must have been bad. She seen something her mom didn't want her to see. And she said she did something she didn't want her to do.
I don't talk to, our family is not tight knit, so I don't really speak to her that often. But that is not the same energy that she had when she called me and told me that my baby was missing. Because she's the one that let me know. I had no idea. I don't do social media.
Understandable. Now there's another.
Yep, and she was like, where was you at when, this, that, and the third, but I think the sister is more feeling like, you should stick to your mother. You shouldn't attack your mom like everybody else is. You should be there for her until you figure out the truth. And, but obviously her and her mother ain't good at all. Because her daughter, according to her, was taken off of lies. But that's the crazy part, y'all, because CPS is something else. Like, it's like they'll take some of them right away, some of them they'll drag it out. Like KEI'MANI, for instance, should have never been there. Looking at the record of the granny, and they got it posted all over Facebook. She has a lot of same kind of stuff dude had, as far as violence and stuff like that. So somebody has said Lucas County, they tagged them. Please explain how Dorothy Latigue was allowed to be Keimani's in custody, to have her in custody when Dorothy has felonies from Arizona to Ohio. So there's the Arizona. Her mother lives in Arizona. I remember the guy on the scene told me that her mother lived in that house on Miami before she went to Arizona, and that's where the Arizona came from on there. I wondered what they was talking about. And then, of course, here it is. So, yeah, please explain how Dorothy Latigue was allowed to have KEI'MANI in her custody when Dorothy has felonies in Arizona, from Arizona to Ohio. Dorothy had lost her own children to foster care and was out assaulting people. That's the kind of people you put innocent children in the care and custody of. And so let me see something. What a particular thing that I can see is dated back from 7/5/2002. Crime date 7/5/2002. And then they got a date of 10/7/2002. So aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And it's a lot of stuff like that. Here's something that KEI'MANI's mother, Tierra Caskin, she told 13 Action News on Monday she expects she won't be invited to attend the service in Toledo. Now, if they don't let this mother come in, that will be sick. You hear me? I know they don't get along. They didn't get along out there when the body was coming out, but to not let her come to the funeral would be crazy. And then it's a big mess with that too, because the funeral home that they was gonna have it in, the guy had some essay or something weird on his record. And so that's just crazy, man. So she's taking my daughter's. She said, I haven't received an invite, which is really upsetting. Caskin said, she's taken my daughter's whole life from me. She's gotten a chance to be with my baby. This tragedy is what came of it. I just want to be able to give my kid a good send off, and I can't do that. She's not allowing me to do that. Now that's sick, man. Damn. There you go. Granny was unfit. She was in for the check. She needs to be locked up too. That is looking that way. Teachers were reporting this poor child left and right. Yep, that's what the teacher said. She was like, I tried to get her out of there, and she, as a matter of fact, this is her. Wait, hold on. This is her recent, or one of her posts. I am not okay. I tried. Yeah, this is the one that she's cussing in. She said, I'm not okay. I tried so effing hard to get her removed from this environment. Sweet baby, my heart is broken. The system is broken. I am sick, but mostly just sad. I enjoyed being able to teach her, give her a hug every single morning she came into school, because that was all she ever wanted. Dang, her friends tried. I tried. The school staff tried. No one listened. They wouldn't allow her to have a voice, and now she's unalived. Thank you at Lucas County Child Services for your lack of fucking care for these children. Hey, I had to say it. God dang. And she shared Alexis Main's post from the news where she said police have found a deceased person in an abandoned home in an 1100 block of Miami Street. They believe this is missing 13-year-old KEI'MANI Latigue. They are waiting for identification of her body. And then this was on the scene. This was also the scene where the grandmother was on the scene, and the news person came up to a person that was recording and said the grandmother identified the body over the phone. I guess they must have sent her a picture, because they was that you could hear the crowd like, how did she identify the body? And we've been out here and she just got here, and all of that crazy stuff was happening. So yeah, so dang, man, this our time then ran out. I have to get off of here, but I'm gonna continue this tomorrow. Oh, hold on. Oh my God, Gina, I'm so sorry. Shout out to Gina for sending me a super sticker. She said great content, or super chat. Keep up the great content coming. Keep the great content coming. Thank you so much, Gina. I greatly appreciate you so much. I'm so happy I seen that before I got out of here. Shout out to you. Let's go. Let's go, Gina. Okay, y'all, I gotta go. I gotta rush off really fast, but I'm gonna set up another stream to continue this. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make this go viral.